in Big Orange.
Summit and Destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
And the Tennessee Volunteers are the SEC Tournament champions. It's been a long time coming. The last time Tennessee won this tournament was in 1979, but they've got another trophy to put in the trophy case at Thompson Bowling Arena.
The 2023 SEC champions, the Tennessee Volunteers.
Hit high in the air into left field. Stevenson circling in front of the fence in the foul ground. He goes into the corner, makes the catch, and that's the ball game.
And the Volunteers will hold the trophy.
How much fun is this, man? God, I love it. High fly, deep right, and Tennessee walks it off.
The 2-2 to Denton.
Well hit, deep left field, it is good!
For the win for the Volunteers. From 40. On the way, a knuckleball. He got it!
How much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top, this is college football at its absolute best.
This is college athletics at its absolute best, man. We started off every episode pretty much saying the same thing, but when it's the truth, you got to say it, man. I feel like it's kind of become our tagline a little bit, but man, welcome into another episode of the Vols Fanatics Show. I am Michael with my co-host Skylar. Skylar, how we doing today, man?
Dude, we are tired, and I know it's hard to say that considering we're 13 days away from football time in Tennessee. And but I'll tell you what, man, I've had a blessed week. We went out to the lake, the boys went out to the lake this last weekend. Went to the beach with the wife earlier this week. Got to play some golf in Panama City. Come on now, it's just been a great week. But unfortunately, with how relaxing that sounds, we were actually running around every day. So it's kind of nice to just be back home. Try to relax a little bit, get this podcast through. We got a lot to talk about, Michael, dude. We got an insane lineup. As you know, segment 1, we're going to be talking about the defensive line. And my God, at the depth, brother.
Yeah.
It's going to be scary. We're going to get into that. And then segment 2, we're going to get into Missouri's schedule prediction as well as Georgia's. Dude, we're only one show away from football time, bro.
Yeah, next week we get to start with our predictions. So it's
yes, sir.
It's almost here, man.
I mean, week 0 starts next week. I mean, this is the last weekend without college football, man. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. And also a little teaser. We're trying to get a few more people in to see this, but at the end of our defensive line preview, we've got a new intro video to show you guys.
Yes, sir.
We're super excited for that. But Skylar, without further ado, you want to get into this thing?
Yeah, but I got to let people know who our presenting sponsor is, and that is Chris Smith Insurance. As a homeowner, Chris Smith was once let down by an insurance company, so he decided to start an agency of his own, where instead of feeling like a big company is fighting against you, you'll know that your agent is fighting for you in a time of crisis. All insurance is not equal. Trust the Chris Smith Insurance today. Give him a call at 865-272-3387. Again, that's 865-272-3387. If you feel like your rates have gone up and you want to shop it around, give Chris a call. He can give you better coverage for a better price, just depending on all insurance carriers kind of have a niche. So, I mean, depending on your age or your little history or whatever, he can save you a lot of money and actually get you better coverage. We appreciate you, Chris, for once again being our show sponsor. I got to be honest, dude, we already got some action in the chat box. Justin tuned in as soon as we went live. I mean, I can tell he's got notifications turned on, so props to you, my boy. All right, if you haven't done so already, we got people tuned in. Make sure you're following. Make sure you subscribe to the show, however you're doing it, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, X, however you watch us. But make sure you turn on the notifications. We only go live once a week, so we're not going to be blowing up your phone, okay? You can do it, and that way you don't miss the show, man. It's what it's all about. But yeah, without further ado, I think we are going to talk about this defensive line. And but before we do that, obviously we got to let the people know one more time just who our segment 1 sponsor is.
Yeah, so our segment one sponsor is Optimal Asbestos Services, your trusted environmental consulting firm in Knoxville, Tennessee. State licensed and insured, we specialize in asbestos air quality management for commercial buildings and homes. You can contact Jeff Mole at 865-223-3297 or on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. And Jeff, we really appreciate you being our segment one sponsor, but man, let's get right into it because you've mentioned it. This is a deep group, and there's a lot to talk about with this group.
I mean, where do we start? Obviously, let's start with ESPN's number one rated overall player, James Pierce Jr., right? Coming off the edge.
Obviously, where else would we start? So,
I mean, are we talking are we still talking potential top draft pick? I know that was kind of thrown around earlier in the spring, and I kind of blew it off. And I mean, but seriously though, like, are we talking Heisman hype here, or I mean, is that just baloney talk? Take off the orange glasses. Like, what are the expectations for the accolades of James Pierce Jr. this year?
So I think James Pierce Jr. can absolutely be one of the top
All-American, by the way.
Oh yeah, preseason All-American. I think by the end of the season he will be first team All-American again. I don't see him being a contender for the Heisman because he's going to have so much attention put on him this year that it's going to be really hard for him to just be this outstanding player unless he is what people think he is out there and just an absolute monster. But also, when's the last time a defensive player won the Heisman? Was it Charles Woodson maybe?
Yeah, there's been several finalists. The Hutchinson from Michigan.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of the Boza kid. I think from Ohio State, and Chase
Ndamukong Suh that should have won it.
Yep, Chase Young. I mean, you've had several finalists, but yeah, I think it's been a while. It's not in my head, dude. I can't think of it, but maybe Charles Woodson. But I only know that one because our guy got kind of robbed. Yeah. But no, I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm saying, like, it's hard to imagine a guy like James Pierce just solely because he's on the wrong side of the ball for a Heisman play. But at the end of the day, if you're talking best overall college football player, if he's making the offense change their entire scheme to block around him or to run away from him or whatever, how do you not reward that? I mean, because like you mentioned earlier, the offense, when we go, our opposing offenses are going to focus so heavily on how do we contain number 27. How do we keep him from getting to our quarterback? How do we keep him out of our backfield? That this is why I'm so excited about our defensive back group, our linebackers. I mean, it's gonna honestly, the opposing edge rusher should have their best season, whoever that is. I mean, Joshua Joseph, Bryson Easton's going to be in the middle probably, but we've got some people on the other side of the ball. Tyree West. We're going to get through all of them, trust me. Yeah. But who's going to be on that opposite end? They should have a year, bro, because if they have the double James Pierce Jr., I mean that leaves, you know, 3 guys to 3 guys, and if you win your one-on-one, I mean, look out. Look, what psychs me the most is even if they doubled James Pierce Jr., I think of like the A&M game last year.
Yeah.
And now he literally just pushed him back. Like, maybe he didn't get to the quarterback. That's fine. But he was still able to make noise in the backfield, which caused commotion, put pressure on the quarterback, made him rush his throws, and he was never accurate. So I'm telling you, man, I don't think there's a way to stop it. I think it's inevitable, and I'm kind of excited about what this season entails for him. And I look forward to him getting started early. I think he's going to be coming right out the gates. I mean, I'm talking first drive against UT Chat, the first time their offense is on the field. I'm not saying he might get a sack in the very first 3 plays or whatever, but I would look for him to at least be in the backfield 100%. And I think UT Chat's going to expect that. So I don't know if they'll pass the ball too much.
Yeah, but you know, it's not just James Pierce Jr. because look at what you have in the middle.
Oh yeah,
you've got 6'2", 340-pound redshirt senior Elijah Simmons, along with 6'4", 325-pound senior Amari Thomas as well.
Those two need to be ballers, bro.
They have so much experience on this line. and they're so big and athletic as well. I mean, you saw numerous times last year where Omari Thomas, he would be behind the play and he would end up making the tackle on a play. I mean, a guy that's that big and can move to make a play like that when you're behind it, that's scary, man. That is absolutely scary. And I feel like when you've got a guy like James Pierce on the edge and then you've got two guys like this in the middle, man, you're 100% right. That backside edge, whoever is opposite of James Pierce Jr., should have a heck of a year getting downhill and getting not just sacks on the quarterback, but making plays in the backfield as well, just on running backs, wide receivers, whoever.
Absolutely. Matt Stone from YouTube said, "What's up, y'all? What's up, man? You look excited, man? I mean, we're 13 days away, and what's up, y'all? We appreciate you tuning in, brother. We are talking about the defensive line. Quite honestly, the deepest room that I've seen at the University of Tennessee in my lifetime. I'm just going to be straight up. I'm looking at the names, bro. I'm looking at the names. I think our 3 deep could go with pretty much any team's one deep all day long. And so what Rodney Gardner and Tim Banks and Josh Heupel have done on this defensive line, nothing short of amazing. But we're going to keep on rolling with it. I mean, look, our projected ones, right? Projected ones. We're talking probably the names that we've talked about, right? Elijah Simmons, James Pierce Jr., Amari Thomas. Who's that other edge? Do you have any idea?
I'm going to go with the experienced guy, Joshua Josephs.
Yep.
But, they're going to rotate guys so much that it's really not going to matter. But I think he gets to start, but you're also going to bring in guys like freshman Jordan Ross on that side.
Don't forget about one guy. You're forgetting about a senior.
You talking about Elijah Herring?
Nope. Dominic Bailey.
Dominic Bailey. Yes.
Dominic Bailey. Don't forget about. I think he's quite honestly, he may be your listed starter. Now, like you mentioned, they're going to rotate guys so many times and it may not even matter. But you got a guy like Dominic Bailey, who's a 6'3", 280-pound redshirt senior. Dominic Bailey, I've heard some great things in camp about that guy. Really causing some commotion, as they should be, dude. If you're on the opposite side of James Pierce Jr., you've got to be making the most of that opportunity. But yeah, I mean, aside from him, 100%, you got Joshua Josephs. You got a guy like Tyree West, David Hobbs. He might be playing in the middle, actually.
And I actually misspoke. It's not Elijah Herring. It's Caleb Herring.
Yes.
Who I meant to say.
Yes, Caleb Herring. He's a sophomore. I think he's probably going to be in the 3D only because, man, the competition right now at 1 and 2 is insane. And by all means, I think we're going to see a lot of Caleb Herring. I really do. It's just, man, this room is so talented, so deep. You're going to see this defensive line rotate a lot more than you're going to see our offense, specifically because, one, we're not going to be facing a lot of offenses that play as fast as we do. So they're going to substitute, which is going to give our guys a chance to substitute. We've got the company now to where we can actually run different packages. Now, we ran the cheetah package last year, obviously, with Joshua Josephs, James Pierce Jr. Tyler Barron, I think, might have even subbed in and out. But you brought this up. We're talking about all this depth. And, yeah, we did lose Tyler Barron. But who else? As Alex tunes in on YouTube, says, "Go Big Orange." What's up, Alex? We appreciate you tuning in this Sunday afternoon. We are 13 days away, my man. It's going to be a good one. But who else did we really lose on the defensive line that was notable?
And both of us said off the top of our head, nobody that we can think of. And
I really can. Like, we were able to return all of our seniors.
Yeah. And there's also a name that we haven't mentioned yet that is obviously going to be in the 1 or 2 deep. That's Omar Norman-Lott, man.
Yeah, 100%. But he's going to be playing inside.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's probably going to be just because of I think him and Elijah Simmons are actually going to be kind of splitting reps as a 1, honestly, as a 1 or 2. Omar Norman-Lott definitely 100% going to be in the mix there. But another guy in that inside that is probably going to be 3 deep, which is crazy because he transferred in thinking to make some noise early on, and he will. Don't get me wrong, but Jackson Moy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Jackson Moy, the thing about him is he's very talented, but with the talent that's on the roster, man, it's just going to be hard to find a spot for him. But the good thing about this defensive line group is Rodney Garner is constantly just rotating guys, which is what makes this defensive line group so good.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about one guy too, which is crazy. We're going to say this quite a few times, but Bryson Eason.
Yeah,
heard a lot of great things about Bryson Eason in the last week or two, just on the Sports Animal, post-practice interviews. I mean, Bryson Eason's making some noise for himself. He's going to be playing on the inside, but once again, probably your 2 deep guy. But look, again, our defensive line is going to be substituting quite often. So even if they're on the 3 deep, they're probably going to be playing 15 plays in a game. I mean, you're going to be splitting it up very well. You expect, I guess, 75 to 80 plays as a defense during a game. You might split that up to where it's 25, 25, and 20, whatever, 30, 20, 20. I don't know. They're gonna have a good rotation in regardless. I can't think of anybody off the top of my mind on our schedule that runs a super fast offense that would keep us from being able to do that. But
probably Mississippi State.
You think? I don't know their offense. Not with Jeff
think,
Lebby. Well, yeah. I got you. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah,
because Jeff Lebby,
he would be the one,
right?
Yeah, he came from Oklahoma, and he's the one that taught Josh Heupel the offense.
100%. Okay, so they probably are going to be running something kind of similar. So maybe against Mississippi State, and then at that point, you're just going to have to rely on that you got better dudes, and stick with them. Don't get tired. Make sure you're conditioned up enough. But yeah, I mean, we've got shoot fire. I mean, who's one guy that we haven't touched on yet that that you think is going to make some noise this year?
I mean, just pick a name, man. I really feel like anybody.
Tyree Weathersby? Because
yeah,
that's the name that comes to my mind. That's another name that we haven't touched on, and I know for a fact I'm hearing him on the radio all the time. And
yeah,
I'm just like, here's one highly touted recruit last year, Shandavion Bradley. But he's buried. He's going to have to be a superstar. You don't have to be a superstar. That's a good thing. So maybe he just uses this time to obviously grow, develop, get some experience under his belt. When his name is called, make the most of it for sure. But Vols Time on YouTube tunes in. We appreciate you tuning in. Said the tight end should make some noise this season. You're absolutely right. We talked all about it. If you go to our channel, we've already done the preview on the tight ends, but we are very excited about Ethan Davis. That dude might just be that guy. All right. I'm just saying it. But right now, it's all about the defensive line. And boy, oh boy, am I expecting some big things out of them. Look, I'm expecting our defensive line to carry the weight. All right. I'm just going to be honest with you. They've got a lot of pressure on their shoulders, as they should. It's not like one guy's carrying the weight. Look, I know James Pierce Jr. is getting all the hype in the offseason. But as we've mentioned, man, you've got so much experience. You've got so much talent now on this defensive line that James Pierce Jr. shouldn't have to feel like he has to do it all. And I don't think he does. I don't think he does, not for 1 second. I think this unit's going to eat. I think they're going to play together. And I think they're going to make it very easy on our defensive backs and our linebackers. I don't think we'll have to blitz that often, dude. I'm being honest. I don't think we'll have to send 6, 7 guys like we had to in year 1 or year 2. And I think that helps you out in every facet of the game, because if you blitz less, you're playing maybe a little bit zone more, maybe some press man. If you're blitzing less, your linebackers don't have to sprint, or you don't have to have your corner coming in sprinting every play. You're getting to save those guys, right? You're not exerting so much, sprinting, I guess. Obviously, they're just worried about the run and coverage, but they're not having to run all the way across the field to do a blitz, because you just have to generate some pressure. I'm telling you, really excited about this group. It's so many of them. I think there's probably 12, 13, 14 deep in this unit, and you're going to see all of them. You're going to see absolutely every single one of them.
Yeah, and it's going to be key to have that 4-man pressure this year, because we have seen consistent improvement year after year under Josh Heupel and Rodney Garner since they have come onto the staff of being able to generate that 4-man pressure. I mean, you go to the 2022 team, you had to bring some linebackers, bring some safeties, bring some corners to generate that extra pressure. Last year, you didn't see it as much. You still saw it some, because that's just the type of coordinator that Tim Banks is. He is a very aggressive coordinator that wants to blitz. He wants to bring pressure, and he wants to man you up. And he hasn't been able to do that as much as far as in the secondary, but he's been doing that a lot as far as bringing pressure. And if you have that natural 4-man pressure, then that takes a big that takes a lot of pressure off of your defensive backs as well.
Yeah, I freaking love the play call, and I don't know. I don't have the playbook. I don't know what the play's called. But when you do your 4-man rush, you got 4 guys on the line.
Yep.
Let's say this is James Pierce Jr. lined up, right? And then you probably got Amari Thomas next to him. I love when Amari Thomas bumps out, and then James Pierce Jr. comes up and around down the middle. And then you've seen it several times in his highlights. He crosses over behind and almost has like a straight beeline to the quarterback because the offensive line don't communicate well and they don't swap off their guy, right? And now you've got just a straight beeline. And that's kind of a pressure. That's a play call, but you're still only bringing 4 guys. And I freaking love when we do that, and I think you'll see that a lot this year.
But also, another wrinkle that was thrown into the bowl game that I think is going to really help James Pierce Jr. at the next level. You remember when he dropped back into coverage
His
against
coverage
Iowa
game.
And got the pick 6 in the game?
See, that shows me that he's not just a rusher, though, right?
Yes.
Like he knows how to stay home. He knows how to gap maintain. What's gap integrity? That's the word I'm looking for.
Yep.
Look at we're getting better at this podcast, bro. Gap integrity, right? And then, like you said, dropping out in the flat. That nothing like throws a quarterback off. When you're in shotgun, you see James Pierce Jr. lined up looking like he's about to eat, right? Yep. And then you take 2 steps back, and the guy you thought you were about to feel pressure from is now 10 yards back covering the exact guy you're about to go to.
Yep.
And like you said, pick 6 all day long. I think in order for him, and this is actually perfect timing, Vols time. See what I did there? That's so awesome. Yeah, I don't get the credit I deserve, but it's all good. So he says James Pierce Jr. could be the first overall pick in the draft. I think he's onto something, but I think you're going to have to see a lot more than just sacking the quarterback. And if it's just sacking the quarterback, he's going to have to do it 17 times this year. I think you're going to have to do exactly what you're talking about. Play some zone, get an interception, get a strip sack fumble to win the game. You're going to have those dramatic moments from him to be the first overall pick.
And, we talked about possibly being a Heisman finalist at the very front part of this segment. The only way that's going to happen is if you make plays like that. You've got to get that interception. You've got to get that strip sack that ends up winning the ball game. You got to make some sort of play like that to get noticed, to be able to be put on that Heisman ballot as well. But you've also got to consistently do what you did last year and improve upon that as well.
Absolutely. Chimes in one more time. We appreciate you watching. Says Pierce makes teams fear the orange. I mean, I hope all of our guys make teams fear the orange, honestly. Yeah. And I think we got that.
Yeah, I do want to throw this comment on here, though. So, we're just absolutely praising the defensive line group, just like pretty much everybody else has so far in the offseason. I believe it was this past week at the Vols media, Rodney Garner was asked a question about the outside hype being built around the Tennessee defensive line. His response, who's praising these guys?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rodney Garner, he's a character, man, but dude is an awesome coach, and Tennessee is very lucky to have him.
Well, and he's right.
Yeah.
He's right. People are praising them like us that don't matter. Doesn't matter what we say. Doesn't matter what anybody says. Rodney Garner's with that group every day, and unless they perform on the field on Saturdays, doesn't matter what the hype is around the group, and it's all about doing your job, right? And so he's in the, 13, 14, we'll just call it 16 deep in this group. We got 4 rotations, I guess, if you want to call it, of guys. And, they all expect the same out of each one, whether you're on the 4th team or you're on the 1st team. And I hate calling it 1st or 4th team because I'll be honest with you, man, I seriously think this. You're going to have 3 first teams. It's just going to be different packages. Like, that's the way I view this defensive line. And so, but whatever package you're on, you got to do your job. And you're going to be expected the same amount of each group as the next guy. And if you don't perform, obviously none of this hype train matters. And none of this rotation matters. But, like, I'm interested to see just how many play because, I'll look at a guy like David Hobbs, Davion Bradley, who, last couple cycles, we really praised these recruits and how big they were, and they are. How are they going to develop with all this talent in the room? Are they going to still be locked in for next year when we're really going to need some of these guys like that? Very interested to see their development. Like Caleb Herring, too. Just kind of seeing how this coaching staff develops those guys and hopefully getting them to stay here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want ever to – I know we have to talk about it because that's just the way the game is now. If you don't get your playing time or if you don't get your money or whatever – obviously, you look for better, greener pastures, whatever. But I really want these guys to stick around. I think it could be special for them.
Yeah, and a guy like Jordan Ross, incoming freshman this year,
yes,
there is 100%. So much hype around him. I feel like he's going to see the field in one of these rotations. But if he doesn't get the playing time that maybe he thinks that he should get this year, does he move on next year? I certainly hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either.
Jordan
Ross, another name I didn't even bring up. That's, I mean, dude. Like, come on! It's a talented group. Everybody knows it. Really ready to see it. The defensive line, ladies and gentlemen, that is when everybody talks about our defensive backs and question marks, and it's kind of scary because they're all new. I'm not worried. Like, I'm telling you, our opposing quarterbacks are about to have 3 seconds tops. It's no longer going to be this. Sit in the pocket for 5, 6, 7 seconds to find their guy open. That's done with our defensive line. There's no shot. The only way that happens is if we only rush 3, and even then, I think we'd still win. There is no shot I see any quarterback unless they scramble and make some plays. I mean, obviously, you got a guy like Cook, which we're not playing Missouri this year, but
no,
who knows? Graham Mertz is very experienced. Maybe he can roll outside the pocket.
I think there is Jackson Arnold.
He's talented. Maybe if they make some plays, but I don't see them being able to take their time in the pocket. No way.
I think there is 2 teams on Tennessee's roster that, and Vols Time says it, Rodney Garner, dude is the man. I mean, Tennessee is very lucky to have him, but
I love how so many people doubted him in the first year, bro.
Oh, yeah, and look where we're at now.
Look at where we're at now. That's crazy.
I think there's 2 teams on the roster that are on the schedule this year that we play that can slow down Tennessee's pass rush. I don't think they can stop them because of how talented they are, but they can slow them down some.
Georgia.
Yep.
And the second team. I'm going to go Alabama.
It's Alabama.
Yeah, I'm going to go Alabama. It's definitely not Oklahoma. They just revamped their whole offensive line. Now, they may be a talented group, but we play them pretty early in the season, so maybe they've not worked out all their kinks yet. So we'll see, though. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, even with new head coach Kalen DeBoer, I mean, you really didn't have a whole lot of turnover on the offensive line part. No. And even then, he brought in some guys that fit his type of offensive mold. So I think that Alabama.
I'm glad you brought that up. Jalen Milroe, he's going to make some plays. But that's different, right? Like if he rolls out, scrambles, that's one thing. He's not going to be able to sit in the pocket though. Even with Alabama's offensive line, I don't see him being able to just continuously sit in the pocket. Like that last play against Auburn where he just kind of sat back there, and there's no way that happens against our defensive line. There's no shot. I may have to eat crow at the end of this year, after a game or something where that does happen. But I don't see it, man. I don't see it. There's no way. Our group is way too talented, 3 deep. I don't see it, man. No way.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. This is a super exciting group this year. And really, we've hit on it numerous times. It's just a matter of who all's going to see the field and how much are they going to get to see the field because of the rotation, the talent, the packages that Tennessee's going to run. I mean, it's going to be exciting to watch this year.
Defensive line, all of them, Heisman finalists. Elijah Simmons, Big Amari Thomas. The whole Heisman Trophy ceremony is just going to be our defensive line, bro.
You know what we need in college football? You know how we have the Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line? We need some sort of award for the best defensive line because this group right here, I don't think there is.
I know there's an award for the best defensive player, but
yeah, I don't think that there's like a defensive line award.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like I said, I know you got the Joe Moore award that goes to the best offensive line as a position group for a team, which Michigan has won the last 2 years. But I don't think there is a award for defensive line group.
That's fair. That's fair. Well,
If there was, this group has got a good chance of winning it. So,
right on. You got any last little pointers on the defensive line group before we wrap this thing up and go to the second segment?
I don't, but before we hit that second segment.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. We have got a new intro video to show you guys.
Let's go. It's going to be next week, too.
Yep.
Let's get it.
This is going to be our new intro right here.
The national champion is clad in big orange. The pitch. Swing and a miss! That's the ball game! The national champion is clad in big orange.
Summit and Destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
Tennessee Volunteers have wrapped up an SEC outright regular season title.
The SEC run through Rocky Top. Tennessee wins the SEC regular season crown for the second consecutive season.
The 1-0.
Indiana right center field. Runs on the ball. Walk it down. Tennessee walks it off.
It's a mismatch. Deep three. Come on now. And don't connect. Probably trying it this time. Indeed. Two-hand down the middle. Got it. On the fly. Tie it again. And he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
How much fun is this?
Rocky Top with college football and that's
Man, I will say I didn't realize until we got on here how loud the music was. I might need to turn it down just a little bit so you can hear the video more. But man, I hate that we have to give up "I'm a Vol for Life," y'all, as a song. But there's some copyright issues there. But man, I like the music with that.
I just want to point out that we Googled the copyright issues on that song before we used it. And I didn't see no issues. And then we got flagged. It's all good, though.
Yeah.
We ain't making money on it yet.
Yeah, my favorite part about the intro though, the Dalton Connect dunk against Auburn.
I noticed that.
The
you
music
timed that up. Yeah.
The music dies down, and then right as he dunks it, it picks back up, man.
I forgot all about the walk-off of Florida State, bro. That's so crazy, bro. I don't, Florida State's had a rough year, bro. Like,
dude, we could have made a full intro just on baseball clips from this past year.
100%. Yeah, Vols Time says, very cool intro. We appreciate you. Yeah, that's going to be kind of something that lets people kind of have some time to tune in. That's how we're going to start our shows every week. And then Tennessee football 247, 13 days away. Let's go Vols. Did you see the drone light show above Neyland Stadium yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
I did. I saw that. It
was that not pretty cool?
Yeah.
He said, let's go Vols in all caps. And they did like the whole like BOLS with the drones. I thought that was pretty cool. Like if only they could legally, I think, do that during a game. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. And Justin tunes in. He says, awesome, man.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. Guys, we got a lot of people tuned in. We appreciate you guys. Hit 300 subscribers last week, thanks to you guys. So if you haven't done so, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. Turn on that bell for notifications because we go live every Sunday. And we do what's really cool. And you're going to see it next week. We get into our segment picks, or our SEC picks. We also have a upset pick of the week segment, and really love that. We kind of dive in, even if it's outside the SEC, we just dive in, try to find that 10-point or more underdog to see who could actually pull it up, upset.
Yeah.
And
we'll have it on there next week, but we've actually added a 1 point extra on that this year if you cover the spread. Because there was numerous times last year that we got the spread right. Like the team that we picked covered the spread, but they didn't win the game. So
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to win the game, bro. No, I'm joking. I agree, though. The 1 point, just if they cover the spread, just kind of help make it competitive. because your boy won with ease last year, So man, somebody's gotta help themselves out any chance they can, you know what I mean? So, but no, that'll be really fun. We're gonna get into that, but segment 2, dude. Segment 2 sponsor. Let me tell you guys who segment 2 is all about, and that is P&L Business Services. We know firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. Guys, reach out to P&L Business Services. It's as easy as going to pnlbusinessservices.com. They handle literally everything when it comes to paperwork. And we like that. It makes it a lot easier to keep us out in the field and knowing that our money is being handled and taken care of. And we don't have to worry about, getting slapped by the IRS or anything like that. So, P&L, thank you so much for being our segment 2 sponsor. We really greatly appreciate it.
Yeah,
what's
Tennessee
up?
Football 247. We see your comment. I kind of want to talk a little bit more about this one whenever we get.
He giving us pointers. I don't like that. See, now you're going to claim the game, and I'm not going to be able to pick it. That's some bullcrap. Hey, I do want to let Tennessee 247. I picked the Duke over Clemson game. We actually both did. We actually both picked that game, but it was crazy when it actually hit, and it actually made my whole year. And then I never got another one right.
You did at the very end.
Did I at the very end?
The week that I caught you on the standings, you got another one right, and that's what put you ahead for good.
Yeah, because I think you had the better ratio of a record, but I had the more points. That's tough, dude. Why don't you cry about it? All right.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Missouri schedule predictions.
And
we're just having a good old time.
Yeah, I will say, guys, we were trying to have Skeeter on for this week. Unfortunately, he had some bad weather around his house this past week.
Dude, we've had some bad weather. I'll be honest. So that's understandable.
He has lost Wi-Fi, and he called me actually an hour before we started and said he still has not got it back. He hated that he couldn't come on. He said he feels like he's dodging us because he had some stuff come up last week, and then this week had the weather thing.
No, he is dodging it. I don't want him to come on here anyways. He's going to come on here and be like, MIZ! And I'm going to be like, nah, I can't, It's all good. No, we hope that the Wi-Fi gets turned back on. Dude, if I had no Wi-Fi for as long as he's had no Wi-Fi, I'd still live. I'm not going to die. But I'm just saying, it kind of sucked.
But no, we do plan on having him on at some point, though. Maybe one of these weeks when we play a Kent State or something like that, we can have him on. Maybe have him join the pick segment with us. Have some fun with that. So, but anyway.
Before we get into this, I want to know, we got several people watching YouTube, several people watching on Facebook. What is y'all just give us a record prediction in Missouri this year? Look at the schedule. It's kind of a cupcake schedule. They were complaining about Georgia's schedule last year, and then come on. I see nothing different. I see nothing different from Georgia's schedule last year. All right, just putting it honest. They do have Alabama at Alabama. Ooh, just look at Missouri's schedule. What do you think a fair record prediction is? Do I have to go first or you? I can't remember.
I'll go first on this one.
Bet. All right, sounds good. We'll get some comments here in a second, hopefully.
Yeah. So Missouri, of course, you start the year off against Murray State. And before I go through this, Missouri returns a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. And that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why there's so much hype around Missouri this year, along with the lighter schedule.
I will say this: Cody Schrader kind of carried that team. He's no longer there. Who's going to fill his shoes? Who's going to fill his shoes?
That's very true. And then there's a little bit of question marks on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive coordinator went to LSU. They lost a lot of talent to the draft on the defensive side of the ball. So it could be some.
We're going to see how good we're going to see how good of a coach Eli is by replacing those pieces. Did he make the right moves? Did he not? How does he, continue to grow even with the turmoil at the coaching positions? We'll see.
Yeah, and I will say this too. I give him a lot more credit now than I did a couple years ago.
Because he stands on business, or
no?
My God! I said it, and then look who comments and says the same thing. What is? I'm not even going to read it.
Skeeter, we do appreciate you joining in. So.
I literally said, "All right, dude, Justin Williams. Hey, this is more like it right here. Look at that. I mean, that's just hate, bro. Like, come on, like that is just straight hate. 0-12. Come on, dude. Oh wait, he is a Texas fan, so that makes sense.
Yeah, there we go.
We got okay. Yep. See, here are the comments. We're rolling in now. Vols Time says I can see Mizzou losing 3 games. I think that's fair. I can see that actually. I think maybe a little bit more. Tennessee Football 247 said 12-0 is crazy. He knows that. He's just standing on business. You know, that's all it is.
Yeah.
All right.
But getting into it, Murray's. This is a very easy start to the schedule as you get Murray State.
I mean, I don't know. I think they're like, top 131 in the country.
Something like that. Buffalo, that's a win. Boston College, probably one of the easiest Power 4, I guess you would say.
Are they ACC?
You can play. They are. They're ACC. Although, Skeeter, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't y'all lose to Boston College a few years ago?
Oh.
Like I said, I could be wrong on that, but
I don't remember that
this year.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Boston College has Florida State colors, right?
Yeah, very similar to.
Very similar. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
They do get them at home though.
That's a win. Texas A&M, and this is at Texas A&M. Could be difficult, but the thing that I like about this game for Missouri, you get a bye week before you play at Texas A&M. I think that's going to help them a lot, and I think that's one of the reasons that Missouri gets a win here.
I don't know what this is implying to, but in 21 in their house. Is he talking Vandy or?
No, he's talking about Boston College.
Yes. All right, thank you. Yes. So they did lose.
Yeah, they lost
in 2021. In 2021 in their house. All right, yeah. So I love how he's trying to like justify it. Like, well, I mean, it was at their place. That makes sense. 100%.
Yeah. UMass, and we've talked about this before. At UMass, what are we doing?
What are we
doing here?
It's like Alabama going to USF.
Yeah, but get a win there. Auburn.
I think this is actually win. I think that's a test. I think that may be their other than A&M, I think that may be their first big test. I think Auburn's going to be a solid team this year.
But Missouri does get them at home this year.
They do.
That definitely helps. That's why I think there's a win there.
Their October stretch kind of sucks. 3 out of the 4 games is on the road. That's not really fun.
Yeah, and you finish your last one up at Alabama. That's a difficult stretch right there. And at the end of that stretch, I think that's where Missouri drops their first game of the season. I think it'll be close though, but I do think that's where Missouri drops their first one. You get a bye week before playing against Oklahoma at home. That's going to help out a lot. Coming off the Alabama game, you need that bye week. You get Oklahoma at home afterwards. You get a win there. You face off against South Carolina at South Carolina for the Governor's Cup. You get a win there. At Mississippi State. It's going to be cold at this point in Starkville. You got the cowbells and all that.
Stop acting like you don't pick them.
No, I do feel like at this point in the schedule, we've already gone through Mississippi State, and they've got a difficult schedule. They're going to be beaten up. They're going to be bruised at this point. I do think that Missouri gets a win here. I don't think it's a blowout, though. And then you finish off against Arkansas. This one will be a blowout. Sam Pittman's going to be gone at this point. You're going to have
11-1.
You're going to have Bobby Petrino as your interim head coach at this point, but it's not going to matter. Don't play enough ranked teams.
Just like Texas. Yeah. And then Vols Time says South Carolina will be Mizzou upset. See, I was going to say something along the lines of that because, oh, God, I don't want to talk to Skeeter right now. Hang on, because his head went like super, like way up here so quick. Like I ain't never seen a comment. All right. A team like Mississippi State kind of intrigues me because we've already talked about their fast offense. Josh Heupel was able to kind of pull off an upset here and there with that offense. Do you think they could slip up to a team like that on the road 2 weeks in a row to an offense like that? I'm not sure about Missouri's defense. I'll just be honest. I haven't really done a lot of research on them, but could they slip up, have a bad night? Kind of like a night I don't want to bring up, but like we did to South Carolina last year or year before. Year before last.
Yeah, year before last. I think if it was earlier in the schedule, absolutely, I could see that.
Okay.
I just think at this point in the season with Mississippi State, I think that they're going to be worn down from a lot of those tough games that they have. So that's why I think that Missouri should win regardless in that one. I will answer this one as honestly as I can.
No.
I don't know because all right.
There's going to be a lot of 11-1 teams. I think there could be like literally three or four 11-1, 12-0.
I was going to say, real question here: do we know what the tiebreakers are yet, or have they come out with that?
I don't know, because not every team plays each other, right? So like you could have several 11-1s that never played each other. So how would you have a tiebreaker?
Exactly, but there's got to be some sort of tiebreaker. Let's just say you've got. We'll go 4 teams that are 11-1 in the SEC at the end of the season. I mean, obviously you're going to look at head-to-head first, but then from there, where do you go to find out who makes it to it?
But see, to give you an example and to make sure y'all guys know that we're not making this up, it has to be 3 teams that don't play each other that get the same record. So just by this alone, 3 teams that come to my mind, and I'm not even 3 good teams that come to mind: Georgia, Missouri, and dude, it was right there. Hold up. Ole Miss. They don't play Ole Miss. They don't play Georgia. They don't play Missouri. There's another one. Texas. There's 4 really good teams that don't play each other. No, wait.
Georgia and Texas play, and Georgia Ole Miss play.
Yeah, I just messed that up. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Missouri doesn't play neither one of those teams. So they could absolutely tie one of those teams, and there is no tiebreaker that I know of, at least. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun to watch.
At what point would you decide who makes it? So I mean that's where we need to find out what the tiebreaker rules are, and it might seriously be a coin flip at that.
That would suck.
Yeah,
that would suck so bad.
But all right, here's a question.
Okay. Hang on. So like basketball does the whole like RPI thing for seeding, right?
Yeah.
Should it not be like a strength of schedule thing?
Maybe, yeah. But also, and this is kind of off topic a little bit, but still talking about SEC championship. Skeeter and I had this discussion one day. Do you want to play in the SEC championship now with the college playoff on the line? Because thank you.
Okay,
that's where I'm
at. But also yes, because now with the expanded playoff, if you make the SEC championship, you're in, regardless.
Are you
the top 2 teams of the conference is going in? You can't deny that.
Are you?
Yes, you are. 100%.
All right.
Because it's no longer divisionals. And Skeeter, I'll get to your comment in a minute. You're no longer talking divisionals, so you're not going to have that 2023 LSU 9-3 winning the SEC West, losing the game, being 9-4 at this point. You're not going to have that. Your only 2 teams that are going to be in the SEC championship are going to be 12-0, 11-1, maybe. I don't even think a 10-2 makes the SEC championship. So
I think in certain years that a 10-2 team will.
I don't think so.
This year, no, but in certain years, I think you can have a 10-2.
I mean, of course, it's going to happen at some point. But like, I'm just saying, right now, it's too deep. There's no way a 10-2. It's probably going to happen this year. Now that I've said that. But anyways, Woodswater Mizzou says the defense will be better. He's saying that because obviously he's a Missouri. Baker had letdowns with the game planning. Look at our stats versus LSU and versus Florida last year. Yeah, 100%. I mean, every team has a bad game. Like, let's be honest here. But Vols time kind of repeated what I said. Strength of schedule probably then comes into play. Right now, that's what I have to think it will be. But
yeah, I think y'all are right on that. So, real quick before we get to your predictions on there, my ceiling and floor.
Yes, sir.
Ceiling?
No shot.
12
no shot. You knew you're bull crap. No shot. No
ceiling
shot.
Is 12.
You were sucking Skeeter's 7 toes, bro. Like, there is no shot, dude. There is no shot. I can't be more serious than I am right now.
It is highly unlikely, very highly unlikely. But if things go completely wrong for Alabama under Kalen DeBoer in Tuscaloosa,
then they'll lose to Oklahoma. Like, there's no way they're going 12-0. I'm just saying. Look. Maybe not. You might be right. Whatever.
Yeah. Hey, just remember, you're the guy that put Ole Miss going 12-0 this year.
That's way more believable. That is way more believable. It's Lane Kiffin, dog. He sold his soul for this. Eli didn't like buy no bag or anything. Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. No, ceiling 12-0 for Missouri. The floor this year, I have a hard time believing that you can go any worse than 9-3 with this schedule. Okay. You lose at Texas.
Oh gosh, I love this chat box. It's so good today. I love it. But go ahead, finish your thought.
I've got the floor is 9-3 for this team. I think you lose at Texas A&M, you lose at Alabama, and then I do think that Oklahoma can come in and get a win, depending on where Oklahoma is at this point in the season. But 9-3 is your floor, 12-0 is your ceiling. So
wipe it off, dude. We appreciate everybody tuning in, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. YouTube's busting right now with the chat box. It's crazy. We appreciate all you guys being in here. Even Skeeter, because he loves to hear us gloat about his team. So we're going to keep it going. Justin said that is more believable. I'm going to give y'all something believable. All right. And that's Murray State's going to be a lousy win. That's going to be a win for Missouri. Same thing with Buffalo. Boston College, I agree, all the way through Vanderbilt, 100%. At Texas A&M, 12th man. Does Texas A&M start hot? What does that do for that program? Not enough to beat Missouri. So that's another win for Missouri. UMass, at UMass, yes, we've talked about that quite often. I do think that's a win for Missouri. I'm going to be kind of quick with this. Auburn, I could absolutely see them dropping this game. Not a hater, because I'm picking them to win. But I'm just saying, like, when I do my floor and ceiling, 100% I'm counting Auburn loss when I do my floor.
You're also very high on Auburn this year. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
Yes, I am. I've been openly high on Auburn, yes.
Yeah, I like Hugh Freeze and everything. I've just got an issue with Peyton Thorne, and that's why that's where I keep bringing Auburn down some.
Even the Missouri guy is on board with me when I say – Auburn is a team you got to look out for. I mean, I feel like Auburn's that snake in the grass, dude. Like, just saying, Auburn is going to be a threat. Let's see. I think they win the game, though. I do have them winning the game. At Alabama, I'm kind of with you. I don't see them going to Bryant-Denny pulling out the win, but I don't think that's going to hurt them in their goals. Like, I think they could absolutely still achieve everything they want to.
I completely agree.
Even after the bye week, they get Oklahoma at home. I don't think they do it. I think Oklahoma pulls it out. Skeeter's going to be pissed. Don't care. This is just how I feel, man. Look, I think this is the game that they lose that maybe they shouldn't have, but I also think Oklahoma's not going to be that bad of a team. Look, they went 10-2 last year in the Big 12. They lost to Oklahoma State kind of in wild fashion, which kind of kept them from repeating or rematching Texas. They're not – I don't think they're as far behind as a lot of people are making them out to seem, just because Texas is so hyped going into this year, and it's like everybody's kind of forgotten about Oklahoma. Oklahoma's still going to make some noise, guys. Like, they're not going to be a pushover by any stretch of the means. I think if I had to compare them to a team, I think they're a lot like LSU. I think Oklahoma and LSU are kind of on par. Like, if things line up, they can make some noise, but I don't see LSU winning a ton, especially this year, without Jaden Daniels. Alex just commented, said, are you going to call STJ an idiot to his face? STJ. Is that a coach? Lost me on that one, brother. But I do think they get back on their winning ways at South Carolina. I'm not expecting a lot of things out of Shane Beamer's group this year whatsoever. I do know that they have a very talented quarterback. I think he's very young. He may be a freshman. Maybe a true freshman. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my mind.
Lamar Sellers.
Thank you. Losing Juice Wells, though, to the portal. Losing Xavier Legette to the draft.
You do bring in Rocket Sanders at running back if he can stay healthy.
That was his problem, though, man. How many games did he actually play last year? Like, what, 4 or 5?
Maybe.
Couldn't stay healthy. So that is something to kind of look out for. At Mississippi State, back-to-back road games again for this Missouri team, man. Back-to-back. They got 2 back-to-back road trips this season. But I think they do get the win at Mississippi State, and I do think they wrap it up with a win at Arkansas. And I have the Tigers going 10-2. I may have the losses in the wrong spots, but I feel pretty comfortable giving the Tigers a 10-2 season, even with a favorable schedule. My ceiling, 11-1. No shot. I'm giving them 12-0. I don't think they beat A&M, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Auburn. That's a decent stretch of games. I'll give them that, but they're all spread out a little bit. Except October. October's their toughest month. I got to be honest. Other than the UMass kind of slotted there right in the middle, if they get through October, I mean, especially if they get through undefeated, like they might be set up for an undefeated season for sure. But I don't see it.
I love this comment from Justin because, you also lost your offensive coordinator in Jeff Lebby. How is that offense going to look this year? You've got a freshman quarterback in Jack. Well, I guess he's technically a sophomore, maybe a redshirt freshman in Jackson Arnold this year. You've got a inexperienced offensive line as far as experience on the roster. Brought in a lot of transfers, but we don't know how they're going to gel. So I completely agree with Justin here. That's what worries me for Oklahoma. And then Skeeter.
Yeah, but he says Oklahoma's too young, going to have to learn really quick. 4 brand new offensive linemen and starting quarterback. Brother, you're not playing them in week 3. You're playing them in November. Like, they're going to have those kinks figured out. Now, are they going to have the depth? Well, don't know. If they stay healthy, we don't know that. But that's the mentality that everybody has about Oklahoma. But I'm just sick and tired of people thinking that because somebody's a freshman, they're not going to be good. It's almost like they forget about Johnny Manziel or – all right, maybe they have a point. Either way, look, I'm just saying, Tua Tagovailoa, hear me out. I'm joking. I can't think of a lot. But, I mean, just because they're young doesn't necessarily mean they ain't talented. They may make mistakes, but how high is their ceiling? I don't know. Look, call me a hater. 10-2 for Missouri. I never thought I'd actually predict them going that high in this little stint under Eli Drinkwitz. But here I am. And they might outperform me. I don't know. But 10-2 I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
Ceiling, 11-1. Floor, 9-3.
So your 3 losses, you've got Alabama, Oklahoma, and Auburn?
100%.
For that? Okay.
I'm going to say Auburn. And even though I predicted it in my actual schedule, but I'm going to say A&M or Oklahoma.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Tennessee football 247 calling a shot on the UMass upset here.
If that happens, Skeeter, I'm knocking on your door, brother. I'm going to be like, what the hell? Like, that's crazy, bro. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. But no, Skeeter agrees with us here. I'm assuming he agrees with us anyway. Are you saying that you think Missouri goes 11-1 this year? Is that what this comment is?
Yeah, he said cupcake schedule, but too difficult to go undefeated. He's writing down notes. He's keeping receipts, is what he's saying.
Got you.
Because I said it's a cupcake schedule, but then I turned around and said October is their toughest month between A&M, Auburn, and Alabama. If they get through that unscathed, they absolutely have a shot of going undefeated.
Yeah.
But if your toughest month is against A&M, Auburn, and Alabama, we're talking like the projected 8th, 9th, and 3rd best team in the SEC, second best team in the SEC. Wait till we get to our schedule, Skeeter. I got you, brother. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And we don't even have the toughest schedule, but, I got you.
So, Justin, I want to hear your prediction because we hear your prediction on everything, but I hadn't gotten one other than your joking 0-12 one earlier. So we need to hear it, see who you agree with.
Missouri 8-4. James coming in. Skeeter, what are we gonna say about that, brother?
well, he said that he'll need a wellness check if they lose to UMass this year. So.
I mean, I think I would too, honestly.
Yeah, but hey,
I would too.
Vols Time tunes in and he says we will find out how good OU front line is when they play Tennessee. I agree, but I also disagree because it'll definitely be a test for them against Tennessee, their first real test.
But they could absolutely learn and grow from that game to Missouri's game.
Exactly.
There's still a whole month in between those two games.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think we play Oklahoma, was it October 5th? Or is it the last week? No, it's September 21st. Yeah. It's September 20th. It's more than a month they could grow and learn from until they play Missouri.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got anything else on Missouri? We're still waiting on Justin's prediction, but we can get that.
We can go ahead and swipe over to Georgia, and I'll just go ahead and go.
All right.
Because you went first last time. That was I'll tell you what, people don't like my prediction. Oh, Justin Williams says 11-1. He agrees with you about Missouri.
So I'm glad he said that, because I just want you to know that
That he only agrees with you and never me. Yes, 100%.
Well,
By the way, for everybody watching, Justin only agrees with Michael.
Well, what you don't know is Justin Williams is actually my burner account. So
I know for a fact that's not true, but that is a funny joke. That is a funny joke.
It's funny how it works out that way, though. How he agrees with me every time and not with
every
you,
time, every time. All right, let's move this thing on to Georgia, guys. We appreciate you guys tuning in on YouTube. It's been a banger of a show. We're gonna keep it rolling here. But before we get on to Georgia's prediction, why don't you let the folks know who our final segment sponsor is?
Yeah, so our third segment sponsor is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with a personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at KaizenPainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. So, we've got Georgia, man. And there's a reason why we saved them for last, because, I mean,
they're not defending champs, but they are projected number 1 seed. And I think they are ranked number 1 right now, aren't they? Or is that Ohio State?
Yeah, I think they're ranked number 1 and Ohio State is number 2.
Yeah, we'll see how long they can keep it. Georgia does have a tougher schedule this year, as Skeeter has already shown his hate toward Georgia, because Skeeter thinks it's a tight race. Georgia will not make Atlanta come December. Their schedule is too dang tough. Okay.
He's not wrong about the tough schedule.
He's not wrong about the tough schedule. Problem is, when you're the number 1 team in the world, you're a favorite against everybody, even if it is a tough schedule. Look, I don't know. I don't know how they'll fare. I will say this. I don't have Georgia going undefeated. So you can't hate on me, Skeeter. You can, actually. It's fine. I'll take it. Look, that game against Clemson, Skeeter's leaving. We appreciate you, brother. Enjoyed it. See, he just came to watch the Missouri thing. I got you. No, I'm joking. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Georgia will lose to Bama, says Vols time. We'll get there. 100%. But this game against Clemson, and somebody mentioned earlier that Clemson's going to be Georgia. I don't see that. This is like one of those Georgia spanking of a games, like Oregon, and who else did they play where it was just completely annihilation? Was it Florida State? Did they play Florida State and whoop the crap out of them? Who was it?
That was in the bowl game.
Yeah, that's right. Who was that? They played another team in like week 1 or week 2, and it just wasn't close. I can't remember. But either way, Georgia, I think, handles Clemson. I don't think Clemson's that good. I just don't.
I totally agree with you.
I don't, man. That's just the way I feel. Tennessee Tech, that's another dub. At Kentucky, they got LED lights now, so hold up. I'm just saying that might boost Kentucky to another loss. So give me Georgia in that game. At Alabama, this is going to be game day. This is going to be, like everything you can imagine. SEC Network's probably going to be at this game. Your mom and grandmother's going to be there. This is the very much one of the higher, other than like maybe Ohio State, Michigan. This is going to be one of the bigger games in the regular season that you want to see. Alabama, Georgia. I think Georgia takes care of Alabama. I think Georgia's going to be just fine this year. Once everybody gets out of jail from speeding tickets, I think they will be just fine. I think that's going to be an emotional win. I could see a rematch in these two teams, and I think whoever wins the first matchup won't win the second one. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Auburn. That's a dub, but that's a big rivalry game. Hugh Freeze is pretty good at rivalry games. I wouldn't be shocked. Even after they beat Alabama, I would not be shocked if Auburn pulls an upset there. Mississippi State, that's a good win there. At Texas, this is going to be another really good game. At Texas, I don't know why I didn't put this there. I've got Georgia winning, but I'm sick of guessing that 100%. Because I have Georgia's loss coming a little bit later in the season, and we're going to get there just a second. But I could absolutely see Georgia losing that game 100%. You got Florida. At this point, Florida could be head coachless. I don't know. We'll see. I've got them beating Florida. going at Ole Miss in the Grove. I don't think they get it done. I think Ole Miss is poised to have that year this year. And I think this is the loss for Georgia in my prediction. Tennessee, they get the win. As bad as it hurts to say that, it's just Georgia's a pretty solid team, man. They got depth unlike anything other. I like my defensive line. I like tight ends. I love our quarterback. But when you're talking about a full team, Georgia's just there with a lot of other teams in the SEC, unfortunately. UMass, they play UMass. But see how they play UMass at home? It's crazy. It's not going to matter. They get the win there, and then they beat Georgia Tech to finish the season 11-1. The floor, I've got Georgia's floor actually at, you're not going to believe this, but I've got Georgia's floor at 9-3. It could be a year like that. Obviously, their ceiling is 12-0, even with the tough schedule. I just think Georgia's that good of a team.
Your 3 losses are Ole Miss, Texas, and Alabama.
100%
on the road.
Yes, all on the road. Yep, that's pretty straightforward too, and that's something that kind of does work against Georgia. Like if I could redo this, I probably would actually have Georgia going 10-2 this year. Losses to Texas and Ole Miss.
That's fair. And it is crazy that their 3 toughest games this year are all on the road. I mean,
yeah.
If you add in a 4th toughest game,
it
would
Kentucky.
be Tennessee.
Kentucky, 100% on the road.
I was gonna say Tennessee.
Oh, I thought we were sticking with the on the road thing.
No,
my bad. My fault.
They do get Tennessee at home. So,
yes.
I would say that Kentucky is not even their 6th toughest game, but
No, I put Tennessee Tech above Kentucky, honestly.
I was thinking UMass.
Yes. Georgia Tech, that's an in-state rivalry, 100%.
Yeah, there you go.
They gave them problems last year, okay? Like, I'm just saying, Georgia Tech, they got something for them.
Yeah, all right, so clearing the board here, Clemson, week 1. I am totally with you. This game is in Atlanta. I am not high on Clemson at all. Let's see.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
That's not a bad take there.
That's what I was getting at, though. But I would have to be wrong in Ole Miss. Like, I would have to be completely wrong in Ole Miss. But, yes, that is a scenario I'm talking about where whoever wins the first game probably going to lose the second game, and then in the playoffs probably could – I don't know how it'd end up at that point. But, yes, I could see that 100%.
Yeah, that is not a bad take at all there.
No.
No, that would be one of those things that Josh
Payton
Payton.
Alabama's downfall because Nick Saban ain't there is going to be in for a rude awakening. I don't think that's going to be the case whatsoever.
Yeah, that would be one of those things that Josh Payton would put up as a bold prediction, but it is very possible.
It's already happened though, so is it that bold?
Yeah, you never know. All right, so week 1, Clemson in Atlanta. I think that Georgia absolutely curb stomps Clemson. I think that
I agree.
You've got a program that is completely declining in Clemson because they're not staying up with the times of the transfer portal. Georgia, easy win in week 1. Tennessee Tech, week 2, that's a win as well. At Kentucky, these are 2 programs are completely different levels. Georgia wins by a lot. I'm not getting thrown into that trap that I did last year of this is going to be a close game, but Georgia wins. But I will say, our most viewed video of all time on YouTube. So
yes, 100%. Because I misspoke. It's all good. DUIU might be beat down after the Ole Miss game and barely wins in the following week. Have a letdown and gets upset by the Vols. Ooh, so back-to-back losses for DUIU is what James is saying. I tell you what, for Georgia to lose,
he said barely went in against Ole Miss. So.
Oh, okay. I see. My fault.
Yeah, but then
they might be beat down, which allows Tennessee to win.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Hey, I'm fine with that. Anything that gives our boys a dub, I'll do it. I'll do it 100%. Even if I need to call and text their starting quarterback over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Don't think I wouldn't one of them. Look, I'm just saying, like, I'll do it. I'll find the number. I'll call Carson Beck. I'm joking. I won't do that.
But Kentucky, week 3, this is just Georgia curb stomping Kentucky in this one. Starting off season 3-0. Both teams, Alabama and Georgia, get a bye week before this game.
It's great, bro. The hype around this game is insane.
And, if this game was later in the season, I would feel a little bit better about Alabama. But I think with it as early as it is, Kalen DeBoer, even with the talent he's got, I think there's still going to be some kinks that they're going to have to work out. So I think Georgia gets the win here in Tuscaloosa in this first game. You get Auburn following that game. That game is at home. Rivalry game, I think, is going to be close.
After an
Georgia,
emotional win?
Yeah. I
could be one of those games where you're losing in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those letdown games that you pull out. So I think you get the win against Auburn. You get a win against Mississippi State. And I will say, I went back and forth on this game all preseason long.
I'm still going back and forth with it.
I am as well. But last week, I chose Georgia to win this game, and I'm not going to back off of that. Georgia wins against Texas.
Justin does not agree with you. Get wrecked.
Probably
Finally.
not. Yeah.
He doesn't agree with me either, but it doesn't matter. And he didn't agree with you. So,
and here's my take on this one. I think whoever wins this game loses in the SEC championship game.
Yep. So you think it's going to be Texas, Georgia?
I think we'll see a rematch of Texas and Georgia in the SEC championship.
That's fair.
Yeah. You get a bye week before the largest outdoor cocktail party, whatever they're calling it now in Jacksonville. Doesn't matter. Not going to be close. Georgia wins in this one again. At Ole Miss, I'm not quite there on trusting Lane Kiffin in the big games. So I've got
we're going
Georgia. Well, that's the wrong one. That is
whoa. That was me.
That was yours. That
was
mine.
me. Okay. I was like, whoa.
I've got Georgia winning this game close, very close. I will say this: looking at it now, I love the spot that Tennessee gets Georgia this year after a huge game against Ole Miss on the road. And the week before Tennessee plays Georgia, you get a home game against Mississippi State. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to pick Georgia to win this game until they prove me otherwise.
They have beat us 7 years in a row.
Yeah. So Georgia over Tennessee, and then you finish off the season with wins against UMass and Georgia Tech. I do have Georgia going 12-0 this year. And that is
wow.
Georgia has won how many straight regular season games now?
They haven't lost to a single team not named Alabama in the regular season or postseason since 2020.
Until they prove me otherwise, I'm going to pick Georgia to go undefeated.
So, to be honest with you, we both should have predicted them to lose to Alabama. Let's be honest.
Not Alabama, but to Texas.
No.
Well, okay.
No.
Yeah.
Their kryptonite is Alabama.
But is it? Or was it Nick Saban?
Boy, don't even start with me on that. I'm just saying. I don't know. It would if they go undefeated this year, they will win the title 100%. Even in the playoffs. If they go undefeated in this schedule, nobody can cry about it. They are your like undisputed number one ranked team in the nation, probably winning it all. 100%. Like, it's insane. That's just my take.
I completely agree with you.
So what's your score then? Because you've already given us your ceiling.
Yeah, ceiling is absolutely 12-0 because that's why I have them going. I've also got 9-3 as a floor. I think that, as we mentioned, the three toughest games that they play this year are all on the road, and that is Ole Miss, Texas, and Alabama. I think that you win at least 2 out of 3 of those. So I do see a loss somewhere. Or I can see a loss somewhere. I don't see you losing all 3 of them for sure. I could also see you losing 2 out of 3 of those.
Yeah, 10 football, 247. I think he's a closet Georgia fan too, honestly.
I'm just being honest here.
No, it sounds like I don't know what it sounds like, honestly. It sounds like you're a Georgia fan. That's what it sounds like.
I'm just a college football fan, man. I'm a huge Tennessee fan, but I'm a college football fan. It
was Nick.
Yeah. Hey, Justin always agrees with me, man. I'm telling you, that's my burner account.
Nah, whatever. Nobody should agree with this schedule prediction. I'm sorry. I'm not saying they should agree with mine. There's no way somebody should openly agree about a 12-0 Georgia record with this schedule. Sorry. It's crazy. That's being perfect in every game. I just don't see it.
But is there a better team and a better coach right now in college football? Is there any other? Is there any? Oh, do what?
Yes.
Who?
Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin.
You can't tell me that with a straight face.
I mean, I can.
So
I just did. The moment he does it, even if Billy Napier doesn't get fired, the moment he does it, Lane Kiffin's going to say, "I'm coming to Florida. You can either stay on as a defensive coordinator or get the hell out." And that's how it's going to play out.
So what you're saying right now is that Lane Kiffin is a better coach than Kirby Smart.
Okay, but when you put it that way,
I said, is there anybody that is?
You said better coach, better team,
or
you said better coach, better team. I'm saying right now. I'm just saying.
Well,
bro, Georgia loses to Clemson. They're losing a lot more. But yes, Vols time. You're absolutely right. That's why nobody agrees with the schedule, dude. Like nobody. I'm sorry. I can't. You're a backpack Georgia fan. It's okay. Just admit it. Like put a G up there next to the T, so at least everybody knows. Like it's fine.
No, I absolutely cannot stand Georgia, but I'm being real here.
I can't stand Lane Kiffin, but I actually don't mind him either.
Look, I've already...
He won my heart over when he said, "Get ready, get your popcorn ready," and then proceeded to get his butt pounded.
Look, I
enjoyed that moment.
I have already said that whenever Jeremy Pruitt was run out the door, the first person I wanted was Lane Kiffin because he had grown up since he left Knoxville that first time.
Not gonna lie, I wanted Hugh Freeze. I'm not even gonna lie. I wanted Hugh Freeze. I don't know. I think I wanted Hugh Freeze because I knew he could beat Nick Saban. Like that was my whole emphasis.
But hey, we got Josh Heupel now, and he's already Nick Saban.
Oh yeah, it worked out.
I'm
better coach. Better coach. Josh Heupel.
Yeah.
Better team. We might have a better defense. Maybe. I don't know.
Not quite there yet. But I'm glad you brought that up right there because I want to I got to get it pulled up first, but I want to show you what was said by let's see, Jesse Simonton on 3 this past week. So let me get this shared on the screen.
Let's do it. I see it. That's a lot of words, brother.
Despite the issues and depth concerns, I don't think Georgia is going away anytime soon. And I don't suddenly think that Tennessee is the team to beat in the SEC. But after hearing the stark contrast in Heupel's tone and Kirby Smart's tone, I think it's safe to say that the gap between the two programs is starting to shrink. It feels like Georgia may have already peaked under Smart, while Tennessee is just about to hit its stride under Heupel.
I think it's easy to say that, though. I mean, because you do peak when you win a natty, and you definitely peak when you go back to back. So, I mean, I don't feel like I don't feel like that's a wrong statement, but I feel like that's kind of I don't know. I just don't feel like it has a lot of backing to it. At least that last comment right there. I feel like that's pretty much known or common sense. I don't know. I mean, by all means, Georgia could absolutely win another natty, but to go back to back, and I don't know, maybe they could prove us wrong. But no, what was that in context of? What was said? What was the tone about?
I didn't see that. I just saw the post on.
I wonder if it was after media days or something. I don't know.
It might have been. Yeah,
that's fair. But yeah, I mean, we've got several things to talk about. I mean, I think we wrapped up that prediction segment. But speaking of hitting our stride, we got
David Sanders, baby.
We got him, ladies and gentlemen. The number 1 offensive tackle in the nation, number 3 overall recruit, David Sanders. He's coming to Tennessee. Very much a big family man. If y'all haven't watched his pick segment or pick whatever, his Instagram live when he was making his pick, that was pretty rough. Like he had the tier works going, the waterworks. It was crazy.
Hey, but I'm not gonna lie, it almost had me.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, he thanked everybody. Definitely a family man. You can understand why I think him and Josh Heupel gelled very well because they obviously prioritize the same things in life, and it was really cool to see that. And David Sanders coming home, gave us a boost in the recruiting class, as your Vols are now sitting in 6th overall in both the On3 and 247 rankings, which is the two I only care. I really only care about On3, but but that was the big recruiting news from Saturday.
Yeah, and David Sanders afterwards, he said they've been on top. That Tennessee's been on top for a very long time. Coach Heupel and that coaching staff, they've done an amazing job for me and my family. And I think he also said after that, it was the family environment that sold me on Tennessee.
100%. Tennessee Football 247 does agree with you, actually. So thank you for making me look bad. Tennessee Football 247 says, I can't stand Georgia, but I have them going 12-0. Y'all are pocket Georgia fans. Screw you guys. What did you do? Marry a wife that's a Georgia fan? Like, how could you, dude?
Actually, she's a Vanderbilt fan. So
well, that's understandable. Vandy boys. Anchor down. I mean, that is kind of like our hometown college, bro. Like, let's be honest. We grew up 45 minutes south of there. But still, I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah. But, we do have some more recruiting news. And, a shout out to your mom, Misty, for this one, tagging us in it on Facebook. Do you have the post to pull up there?
Is this it?
That's it.
Boom. For anybody watching, this is, or not watching, I guess, 4-star linebacker Jaden Harmon, 2025, committed to Alabama, but has since flipped to Tennessee. Yes, you heard that right. Alabama commit flipping to Tennessee. The linebacker from Rowan, Georgia is ranked as a top 130 player in the class of 2025, the 13th overall linebacker in the country, according to On3 rankings. Harmon had been committed to the I was about to say crime, Crimson Tide since April. And he has now since changed his mind, and he is now on Rocky Top. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm really excited about where we are as a team and where we are as a program. When's the last time we've had a meaningful recruit flip his commitment from a team like Alabama, a team like Georgia, to Tennessee? I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I mean, it happens so often where we have a player and we lose them to those, teams like that. I mean, but to finally get one back from them, that's huge, man. And a big linebacker pickup, we need it. We need the depth in the linebacker room. I mean, we're playing true sophomores right now in the linebacker spot. Think of Arion Carter. Now, I think he deserves it. Don't get me wrong. Who we got behind him? T-Lander. We talked about it, obviously, in the preview. But a guy like I'm blanking. Come on. Not Keenan Peely because he's a starter. Who's the other kid? Not Herring because he left. I don't know. I'm blanking. Holy crap. I'm so sorry, guys.
So you mentioned Jeremiah T-Lander.
Yeah. There's another one that I'm really high on. I've got him right here. Hold on. High on him, but I don't know his name. Jalen Smith. Caleb Perry. God dang it.
Yeah.
Caleb Perry, dude. So lock in, bro. Lock in. Okay. But anyways, really need the depth there at linebacker. Really excited about the pickup there. And but that's not even all the news, is it?
No.
There
should be more there.
Well, this ain't really recruiting news, but Hendon Hooker got his first touchdown in the NFL. Which I was pretty excited
the Lions
about.
back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited about that. That is pretty awesome news. And to see him do it the way he did it shows me that he's not really worried about that knee right now. I mean, that kid is just making plays. So who knows? Now, he's not going to get the starting job away, but does he get traded to a starting spot? I'm really intrigued to see that, and would literally wish nothing more than for that to happen.
Yeah, and Joe Milton didn't have his best performance in the preseason game, but when you look at it, there was also some plays that should have been made that his receivers didn't make.
100%. The story of Joe Milton's life.
Yes, I mean, he had a 2-for-7 night, but it was a lot better performance than what actually showed up in the stat sheet.
100%. Just to kind of recap, from Hayes Fawcett, the last 4 weeks, the Vols have landed Fajon Brandon, the number 1 quarterback in the class of 26, David Sanders Jr., the number 1 offensive tackle in the class of 25, Lagonza Hayward, number 4 safety in the class of 2025, Carson Sneed, the number 9 tight end in the class of 2026, also flipped Deshaun Brame, the number 3 tight end from Oregon, And Jaden Harmon from Alabama. Guys, we just flipped 2 guys from your preseason top 5 schools in the nation. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. I mean, we're cooking. All right. Like that is a guy that we kind of doubted would he be able to recruit in the SEC. And I think we can agree. He's doing pretty daggum solid. But anyways, I think that's all the news I got. I'm sure there's more going on, but what you got?
Well, let's look at some professional baseball players, because one guy that we have yet to mention during
Jordan Beck.
Well, Jordan Beck made his return and robbed a home run, as well as got an RBI single, I believe, in one of his games. But guy I really want to talk about, Chase Dolander, man. Chase Dolander has been absolutely showing out. See, I've got his stats right here. He got moved up to Double-A. In his 5 starts in Double-A, he has a 1.37 ERA with 28 strikeouts over 26 and a third innings pitched. For this season, over multiple levels, he has a 2.43 ERA, 96 and a third innings pitched with 139 strikeouts.
Oh, we cooking.
Yeah, and I believe I saw that he's like the number 23rd ranked player in the MLB Futures rankings. So he's going to be in the big leagues pretty soon.
I do feel like the path for a pitcher is a little bit quicker, especially when you're throwing gas like that. But a guy that I think should be in the big leagues already, and I don't even know why he's not, obviously, is Christian Moore. We talked about him last week. I mean, how is he still in Double-A? I don't know. But whatever. We'll keep following it. He's still hitting bombs, so don't worry about that. I think he had like 7 bombs in his first 9 games, which is insane. But
yeah, I think he's played 12 games now, and he's got 7 games with multi-hit games. So,
he's lighting it up, dude. No surprise, though. I mean, in my opinion, I know Christian Moore had a bomber of a senior year. I guess it was technically his junior year. But I felt like it was true. Like, I don't feel like it was made up. I don't think he was just having a special, fairy tale season. He's backing it up right now in the pros. And honestly, the way the SEC has been competitive in baseball lately, I think it's kind of safe to say that maybe he was facing some of tougher competition in college than maybe what he's facing right now in pro level ball. I don't know. That's probably a stretch to say that, but with how many different leagues and teams there are in professional baseball, I would venture to say, especially now with the NIL rules, that some of your better players, like, let's be honest, Tony Vitello has been able to do that and pull some of those draft picks back out of the pro ranks to let them play a year or 2 in college ball to kind of develop and whatnot. But there's something you just can't take away from playing college ball when you know you're going to have a stadium full of 8,000. Obviously, at Lindsey Nelson's probably going to be closer to 6, but we are getting some upgrades than to go play some single-A, double-A baseball when you may have hundreds of folks in the stands. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a completely different feel, completely different competitive, zone there. But anyway, Vols time. That pilot money is already working. You're right, man. What a deal that was. We haven't talked about that. Pilot made a deal with Neyland Stadium. At some point, obviously, it's been in the back of their minds that when there's a new sponsorship deal, just like with Thompson Bowl Arena, is there going to be a name change to Neyland? Well, Pilot did this awesome deal where it's just preserved by Pilot. They preserved the name of Neyland Stadium as they should. There's no way they should have done a deal to change Neyland Stadium, especially to a grocery company like Kroger. Yeah. But they didn't. They made an awesome deal. It is now Neyland Stadium, Shields Walking Field, preserved by Pilot. Pilot will be on the field. That's going to be a little bit, to get used to. But in my opinion, that's nothing. Like, I'm totally fine with it. You only see it when they're in the red zone, so whatever. It's kind of the same as the SEC logos, right? Like, you have the SEC logos, and then opposite of it's going to be the Pilot logos, I think.
Yeah, you're right on that, and I love it.
Yeah, preserved by Pilot.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Pilot was their number one thing was, we're not taking away Neyland Stadium. We're not taking away Shield Watkins Field. We want to preserve it. That was above and beyond what anything that we could have hoped for.
Yep. 100%. Dude, that's all I got, brother. I'm out of notes. You got anything else to finish up the show?
So I do have, because guys, we've got football this week, man. And not just college football, week 0. We've got some high school football as well. I was actually trying to write down in the last little bit some different games because you've got some local games here in Middle Tennessee. Richland is facing off against Lincoln County at Lincoln County this Friday night. Giles County going to Page. Page has been a powerhouse football team the past few years.
Yeah.
That is going to be a huge game. Cornersville facing off against Webb School. All of those games are on the road for our local teams. Big game in Knoxville as you've got Fulton versus Knox Central Friday night. On Saturday, an absolute banger of a game. You've got West versus Bearden, man. That is going to be a huge game going forward. I was also trying to look up some of the Tennessee commits. If anybody wanted to go check them out playing, George McIntyre and Brentwood Academy facing off against CPA on Friday night. And I forgot to mention the West Bearden game. That is on Saturday, not Friday. So Saturday game for West and Bearden, but Brentwood Academy and CPA, you can see George McIntyre play on Friday night. Also, for those in the West Tennessee area, Cordova is facing off against Sheffield. You can watch Redarius Jackson play. I was trying to look for Ethan Utley. I don't know if Innsworth plays Friday night. I have not been able to find a game for them. But lots of football, high school football being played this Friday night. If you want to go out and watch some of your local teams, you can absolutely do it. There's many more games on the schedule that you can look for as well.
Did you see our wide receiver commit Travis Smith, by the way? 6A Georgia high school football, and this dude pulls up. That is not what I got. That's hiding. I'm so sorry. That was your screen. 1 second. I'll pull it up. Just fumbled the bag there for a second. But look at this. 9 receptions, 267 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And George McIntyre's the very first comment says different. I mean, how is he not a 5-star? Look at that. Get that man his 5th star, dude. Like, I tell you what, for the season opener, that's a heck of a stat line, brother, from a wide receiver playing some 6A ball. He's not playing the little guy. He's playing the top competition in Georgia, and he's putting up stats like that. That's pretty insane.
Yeah. And another game I want to highlight, McMinn Central is traveling to Bradley Central on Thursday night this week. Tennessee does not have a commit there, but there is a guy on X that plays for McMinn Central. He's been following us closely. I've talked to him a few times. I'd love to get him on the show at some point. Camden Goforth. If you haven't heard of him, look at some of his huddle film. He is the number 4 ranked offensive lineman for the 2026 class in the state of Tennessee right now. He's got a lot of hype around him right now. He's just now starting to get noticed by some of the bigger schools. I've talked to him. He said Tennessee is not one of those yet, but I promise you, if he keeps improving the way that he has, Tennessee is going to be looking at him at some point. He's a fantastic player. Like I said, his huddle film is just absolutely insane. You want to talk about a guy that plays through the whistle, man, he's almost playing to that second whistle, man. I mean, he's an unbelievable player. So
100%. We'll definitely keep our eyes open for that, obviously, in the recruiting world. But to recap, man, Tennessee's rolling 6th place again, 6 in the standings, and on 3 and 247 and the recruiting ranks. I seen a comment from David Sanders and said, "Not done yet." Could Tennessee be on the rise for another big time recruit? Who knows? We'll see.
And it's crazy the run that Tennessee has been on when it comes to recruiting right now.
Oh, yeah. Exciting times. 13 days away from kickoff. We will see you guys next week where we do our Tennessee Vols prediction, and we hope to see y'all there.
Yeah, next week, Tennessee Vols prediction, quarterback look ahead.
SEC picks.
We get to the pick'em, man.
That's what I'm
Guys,
talking about, man.
Appreciate you tuning in. Go Big Orange.
Y'all be good. Right on, dude.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go eat and then get ready for this draft, dude.
I hope we're off.